Hello, a very good afternoon. Welcome to O2 Inside Line Live. I'm Nathan Middleton here at Castle Park in Doncaster. We're building up to the Red Roses' first game of the 2021 Women's Six Nations. Delighted to say, joined by Rachael Burford. Rachael, how are you?
I'm very good, very excited.
I should have given you a full title there. Former England women's player, Harlequins captain, World Cup winner, Rachael Burford.
Yes.
Bit of noise for Rachael Burford. And also virtually delighted to be joined by the Bristol and Red Roses prop, Sarah Byrne. Sarah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. We'll get more from Sarah and Rachael in just a second. But you may notice I'm someone that does not have, well, you might not know me, you probably don't. I don't have any England caps. I've never played in the front row for England, and I've never led them out at Twickenham. That's just because I'm not Dylan Hartley. He was supposed to be here today, leading O2 Inside Line Live. Unfortunately, he fell ill yesterday. Dylan, best of luck. Hope you get well soon. You can, however, hear Dylan on the England Rugby podcast with O2 Inside Line. No, we're on O2 Inside Line Live now. The O2 Inside Line podcast. Download that every Tuesday. Dylan will be speaking to Red Roses throughout the Women's Six Nations. Rachael, let's get on to things here today. A different format for the women across this Six Nations. In your best succinct description, what's going to happen this year with the Six Nations?
Okay, so we know it's a condensed format. It's going to be crammed into plenty of action over the next 4 weeks. 2 pools. Pool A, you've got England, Scotland and Italy. Pool B, you've got France, Wales and Ireland. Play off against each other. 2 that come out on top will be in a big playoff at the end of the month to go for that championship title. And
the players who are playing in Pool A, the teams are playing in Pool A, they'll all be at home in those semi-finals as well on that Super Saturday. So it's a different format this year for the Six Nations. Let's bring Sarah Byrne in here on this point. Sarah, first of all, though, let's ask how you are. Obviously, we wish you out on the pitch today, wish you were part of the match day squad. So first, talk about your injury and how the recovery is coming.
Yeah, I had to have a shoulder injury, took a pretty big knock against Sale just after the Italy game. Came back, but it didn't quite heal how we liked it, so I had to go for the operation. And yeah, just being able to move my arm, can now do this, so that's how the progress is going.
Looking ready to come back.
Yeah, I'm ready now. No, but I'll be back in July, hopefully. I'm ready for the next season.
Just talking about the Women's Six Nations format there with Rachael, and obviously this is a slightly moved format as well for the women in a different window. This has been spoken about for many years, the possibility of a different window. I know this is a shortened, condensed tournament, but what do you make of possibly this being a permanent fixture and having the women in this slightly later window when I guess more of the rugby crowds, the rugby focus can be on the Women's Six Nations?
I think it's brilliant. It gives us our own time. It's not getting, overshadowed by the men's, which it can sometimes fall into. And I think there's a real excitement around it. I know I've got quite a lot of backs friends, and they're happy that potentially it'll be sunnier and not so cold, so they can play some nice free-flowing rugby. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and it's so great to see so many people jumping on it this season, and hopefully it can carry on into the next season.
So we've all been talking about the pitch out here in South Yorkshire, in Doncaster. It looks like an absolute carpet out there. Let's have a look at the team, Rachael. This is the match day 23 that Simon Middleton has picked today. A couple of notable things I will pick out, and then I want you to go through the team. Helena Rowland's got the nod at number 10. This is the first England game since Katie Daly-McLean has announced her retirement, of course. And then in the front row, Lara Davis tearing up trees in the Allianz Premier 15s, leading try scorer, and Bryony Cleal, a couple of years. Lots of injuries for her, back playing with her twin sister, Poppy. But Rachael, your thoughts on this starting 15 and the match day 23?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting 23 squad. I think, the coaching team would have had a headache trying to pick this squad. But, somebody I really want to pick out is Poppy Cleal. She's been absolutely outstanding, as you mentioned, in the Allianz Premier 15. And also, I'm really excited to see this new centre partnership with Lagi Tuima and Emily Scarrett going in to the game this weekend. 9 and 10 combo is going to be interesting. Leanne, again, another on-form player. Helena, we've seen some nice touches from her so far, so a big opportunity for her today.
Let's bring Sarah in on this as well. Let's talk about the front row, Sarah, of course, an area you know very, very well. I just mentioned there, Lark, who's scoring for fun for Loughborough Lightning in the Premier 15s, and Bryony Cleal coming back after such a long time. What do you make of England's front row today?
I think it's a great opportunity. You've got some real experience there with Cornborough and Lark, and then you have Bryony, who, was a bit nervous. She did give me a FaceTime the other day, just to talk through, and I said, mate, everyone's nervous every scrum, like I get it still, and I've been playing for a little bit now, so I think it's a really good opportunity, and I'm excited. Scotland also have a new front row, someone come from the back row, so it'll be good to see that kind of battle going into the game.
And obviously you're injured and you can't be part of this camp, but I hear you've been speaking to a lot of players in camp, perhaps some gaming going on, keeping in touch. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so luckily they're all bored in their rooms, so I've been able to like get them on Xbox and have a good chat. So I've been speaking to Poppy and I've been speaking to Zoe and Abby Ward, and it's been a real laugh. I feel like I'm kind of there without doing the training, the tough parts.
Getting all the fun parts, basically. Of course, we're just less than an hour now away from kickoff here at Castle Park in Doncaster, the Red Roses opening fixture. Rachel, just get your insight just in terms of, obviously there's no Sarah Hunter today from that starting lineup. Emily Scarrett has been named captain, but just talk about, I guess, some of the leaders that will be kind of leading from the front today and kind of saying those final words and getting the warm-ups correct and all the final preparations going into the game.
Yeah, I mean, England have got loads of leaders throughout the side. I think Emily will be waiting until those final moments to say her piece. But, you know, you've got the likes of Marley Packer, very vocal. You hear her throughout the entire game. She'll be in the changing rooms right now, gearing the girls up, you know, little small talk. Leanne Riley, you know, she'll be doing the rounds, little small talk into the forwards, telling them exactly what she wants from them today. And also we've got Sarah McKenna back now, who's been out of injury, massive leadership role in the back of the field today, and she'll be speaking quite highly a lot today.
Sarah, let's get your thoughts on this as well. I guess in the final preparations, kind of you've been in around camp for the past couple of years. Kind of who from your point of view is leading those conversations?
Players like Poppy Cleal have really stepped up in terms of we've had a season without Sarah Hunter, without some of our line-out leaders, and Poppy's really taken a big role in trying to drive the standards. But like I said, McKenna's coming back and she's also plays a key part in the teams when they play against each other. And Skaz always leads from the front, so she'll be fantastic as always, I'm sure.
And we're not too far away from the national anthems here. Obviously, there's no fans here at Castle Park in Doncaster. There's the Show Your Shirt campaign, so lots of different rugby shirts around, and there's lots of things going on at Castle Park in terms of trying to make people feel a part of it. But when it does come to the national anthems, let's talk through singers. Best singers, worst singers. Who have we got in terms of who you like to stand near, maybe a bit further away?
I like to stand near Amy Piquet. She's not got the voice of an angel, but she's definitely got the passion of a lion. So, you know, that really, you get ready for the game with her next to you. But maybe to Taisha Harper, she's a singer, so maybe focus on her.
You're also a bit of a singer, aren't you?
Yeah, but, you know, God Save the Queen's not the most tuneful thing to sing.
Let's have a focus on Scotland. I know you mentioned them a bit earlier, Sarah, but Rachel, in terms of their starting 15s, quite a few players that play in the Allianz Premier 15s. I know actually the two fly halves roomed together at Loughborough Lightning in Helen Nelson and Helena Rowland. With that experience of playing in England's top flight, and they've had a lot more camps together as well coming into this game, what do you make of them this afternoon?
Yeah, I think they're a relatively settled side. They've got a lot of experience across their entire squad. And, you know, you talk about them playing in the Allianz Premier 15, so they're familiar with these players. They know them inside and out. You know, Helena Rowland going up against her housemate at number 10 as well. You know, that's quite exciting. Again, a matchup that they're going to know so much about. So it'll be really interesting to see tactically how those two work each other out.
And Sarah, in the past few years, obviously England have quite a few big wins against Scotland. There's the result when they played last time out. They drew with France, one of the best teams in the world. So they seem in a really different place. Do you get kind of that vibe just from around the Allianz Premier 15s and knowing some of the Scottish players?
Yeah, I think Mid said it. He saw an interview a couple of weeks ago, and they're not intimidated to play us, and they definitely shouldn't be. They put in a great performance against Scotland. It was probably one of the most exciting games of that season, and I cannot wait. I think they're going to come out absolutely blazing and gunning for us, and I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
Hopefully be a fantastic game to watch. So we're not too far away from kickoff here at Castle Park in Doncaster. Don't forget you can watch on the BBC iPlayer. Head to the BBC Sport website or the iPlayer. We'll get more from Rachael after the game. We'll be speaking to 3 Red Roses players after the match. Full-time joins about half an hour after the full-time whistle. Sarah Byrne, though, thank you very much for joining us today on O2 Inside Line Live. Really appreciated your comments. Hopefully you enjoy watching the game, and hopefully we'll see you back out on the pitch soon.
Fingers crossed. Thank you for having me.
Thanks to Sarah Byrne. As I said, me and Rachael will be back just after full-time speaking to 3 Red Roses players. Make sure you follow England Rugby on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Some of the best build-up from here in South Yorkshire. We'll see you for O2 Inside Line Live just after full-time.